We've got an attorney with us now. We have Ariel. She's joining us now. So who do you think that this star is, that we've got this unidentified male? And how could this be impacting the case?
I know who it is, which I'm not going to say out of respect, but how is it going to impact the case? I think the impact would be more so if that person was revealed. It would be, I think, shocking to everyone, kind of shocking, but not shocking at the same time. And I think it would just goes to show about the pattern of Mr. Combs' behavior against other people, like Mrs. Ventura and like the person that was in the video.
So one of the reasons that Diddy's been denied bail is a threat of him tampering with witnesses. His lawyers dismissed that threat, saying prosecutors have failed to provide evidence of the suspected tampering. How real is this threat, and could it impact the jury selection process and therefore delay the trial?
I think it's more so about him being a flight risk than tampering. We have seen some evidence where he, specifically with one of the members of Dirty Money, as we all know, Don Richard had filed a lawsuit against Diddy. And then the other member of that Dirty Money group came out and essentially undermined her claim and said, oh, well, I didn't see anything. I don't know anything about this. And then we later found out that Diddy called her 54 times in a row. Oh. So I think that those situations lend to maybe some issues with tampering. And I do feel like there are victims who are scared to come forward, including my client. She was very nervous about if he was going to get bail this week. And once I told her, and then come after people, including her and some of the other individuals, and she was very relieved when he did not receive bail. So I think the issue is a combination of things, not only tampering, but more so of a flight risk.
Yeah, we've seen sort of two waves, a first wave and then a second wave after bail was denied the second time. Do you think the judge's firm denial of bail multiple times now is indicative of how the trial is actually going to go too, as well as potential sentencing?
I do think that it's indicative of how the trial will go. In a lot of situations, you know, again, in America, we have innocent until proven guilty, but then there's a certain amount of guilty and a certain amount of innocent. So I think we're leaning more towards the guilty side just because of what we've seen in the past with Mr. Combs' behavior, what we've seen in terms of the sheer amount of plaintiffs in civil court who have filed cases against him, as well as, like I said before, him being a flight risk and having the means and wherewithal to actually take flight and leave the country so he doesn't have to face his crimes in criminal court. So I think taking the totality of the circumstances, the court is being careful to make sure they don't do something that allows Mr. Combs to avoid justice.
Now, is this right that Diddy's lawyers have accused the government of leaking the 2016 surveillance video of him beating up his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura? Diddy's team saying the government has been, quote, strategically leaking confidential grand jury material and information, including the 2016 Intercontinental videotape, in order to prejudice the public and potential jurors against Mr. Combs. So what do you make of this? What impact could this have on the trial?
Well, to my understanding, Mr. Combs purchased that tape from the hotel employee when he, for a certain amount of money. I'm not exactly sure. I've heard a bunch of different numbers, but he purchased that tape. So how can they make that assertion, his attorneys make that assertion, when that person still probably has the tape? The person he purchased it from, I'm sure he didn't just destroy the tape. That doesn't make any sense. I'm sure he retained a copy. So to point the finger at the government, I think, is wildly convenient. It reminds me of them talking about Costco selling baby oil, when anybody with a Costco membership, including me, knows they do not sell anything. And anybody in Miami knows there isn't even a Costco in the city of Miami. So I think they're just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping that it sticks, because they know that their client is guilty and they're just trying to do the best that they can with a guilty client.
All right, Ariel Mitchell, thank you so much for your time and your insight. Please come back and spend another weekend with us as this story develops. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.